Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you very much, Rob. Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is Salman. This is the first time I'm going to talk about an exciting project I've been working on the past few months, which is NLUX. NLUX stands for Natural Language User Experiences. A quick word about me. My background is in software engineering. I've been writing code for many companies for more than 10 years now. I worked for Amazon, for banking sector for some years, and most recently at AsiaGrid. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it. It's an open source data grid. And in the last year or so, I've been fascinated by ChatGPT, all those AI chatbots and LLMs and what we can do with them. And I started experimenting with the APIs available. And the APIs are really very powerful, especially the ChatGPT one, but also the open source ones on Hugging Face. And I've been just amazed what we can do with the APIs, but when it came to building a UI that uses those APIs, I didn't find a very good and viable open source library or project where I can build a very good UI to interact with those LLMs. And that's why I said, why not build it? And that's how the idea of NLUX came to me. NLUX, it's an open source React and JavaScript project to create conversational AI interfaces. So in tonight's demo, I'm going to talk a little bit about the library and hopefully do some live coding. So this is the Git project for NLUX, NLUX AI/NLUX. If you check the GitHub, please start it and give some support. The website is nlux.dev, and here I'm going to start by showing you some of what we can do with NLUX. So you have all those LLMs and the APIs available. In addition to that, with NLUX, you can create interfaces for those LLMs. So the most basic thing is an AI chatbot that can be powered by any LLM. So this example, we are using an adapter that's connected to a custom backend that I created. But you can plug it into LangChain. Any one of you is familiar with LangChain, the framework? Some of you. So LangChain is very popular Python framework for building LLMs. Hugging Face is an open source community for hosting large language models, the OpenAI API, and so on. So there is this notion of adapters. So there is a very good UI that you can plug to any API or backend, including your own API. And the other thing that's also important to notice is both JavaScript and React. So if you are using Vue or you're using other frameworks, you can actually use the JavaScript, the vanilla JS library. So those are some examples on nlux.dev. You can customize the persona of the bot. You can. This is another example using the LangChain adapter, and they would connect. Another example here with different personas, either using GSX or images. And you can do things that usually need additional work to do, like building that chat UI. You want to sometimes load conversation history if you want to continue a conversation, or you want to stream Markdown. This is something that took me some time to build, which is with many of those large language models, the content is generated word by word. And in order to get full response, usually you have to wait like 30 seconds or so. So ChatGPT does it, and Claude, etc. They would stream the UI, the answer as it's being generated. And with NLUX, we handle that use case. We even handle Markdown streaming. So if you're generating Markdown, it will be rendered as it's being streamed. If you are building an AI chatbot that uses syntax highlighter, we have that, and you also can customize themes. So this is very powerful and feature-rich, but those are only the basics. So for tonight, I only want to show you the next level of NLUX that I've been working on, which is how to use NLUX to interact with the web app. So you want to use a ChatGPT or a bot to interact with your web application. And I'm going to show you the example that I prepared here. Okay, so here is the live demo part. Does this work?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to this NLUX demos repository, and I'm going to clone it. And I already did that. So this is the demo dev. So the demo here that I'm going to show you, it has a simple app based on my background, stock trading app. And I will show you how it looks before and how it looks after using NLUX. So I'm going to start I come back to those servers. So this is the demo I just cloned, and I am going to show you how. So this is the version without AI chatbot. So this is going to be, so you understand the application. So this is probably a very simple stock listing app where you have some filters where you can select the stocks. You can select them by different criteria. You can choose the sector, and then you can select them and add some stocks to the watch list. So this is not next gen yet. We are trying to do it, make it next gen through our live coding session. So let's go. We are going to do the first thing, which is NLUX basics. The app, as you have seen on the website, the very simple thing to do is to include this AI chat component. In order to do it, we will install the those three packages. And for the adapters, we are going to use OpenAI, so they have very good API. And hopefully once that's done, my editor picked it very quickly with some Copilot. I can do it very quickly. So I'm going to create an adapter, use adapter, and I am going to do the API key. So this is, I talk about on our website regarding the OpenAI. Their API is meant for use on the backend. So that's why I mentioned this as unsafe. So the adapter provided is for browser, so it's good for testing. But if you want to use OpenAPI on live production, you need to build a proxy, and I'll talk about that later. But for this demo, I'm going to add a simple API key that I remove after this. Adapter, class name, and then AI chat. And I'll go back to my app. So dev. So here, as you can see, of course, I forgot the theme. And once you import the theme, you will have your own AI chatbot. So this is very simple, ready to use. The theme is called Nova. As you can see, so here on the right we have a new window that looks like ChatGPT, and this is basically a very simple thing like ChatGPT. If you ask it, used by and powered by ChatGPT. So this is the adapter we used here. If you ask it to tell me a joke that only React people, developers understand, it will quite likely. Why do React prefer functional components over class components? Because they don't like this. Okay, so this is just similar to ChatGPT. Sometimes it will just show me the same joke. And this is not context aware. So this is just basic chat that sits next to my application and doesn't understand what's happening on the screen. So for example, one of the things I want to know is like, what the hell is this 1299 stock? What is 1299? And because it's not context aware, it will be talking about telling me that could be many things and that ChatGPT needs more context, which is exactly what we'll do now. So for timing, what I will do here probably, instead of writing every detail, I'll show you how the demo looks like at the end, and I will show you the code changes and how I did that and how it actually works. So in this example that's on NLUX AI git/demos, there is the basic example I just showed you, and there is the AI example. So this is with context awareness. So I'm going to go and run this example. Dev. So once my app is configured, when I ask it what is 1299, it will know that I'm looking at the stock trading app, and then it will answer based on that. Stock 1299 refers to a company, etc. So it's aware of what's happening in this specific view, so it knows the stocks. One of the complex things that we see here is this stock change, for example. What is the stock with the biggest change in the last 1 month? So here I am going to hopefully get an answer that's based on my context rather than, yeah, it's talking about Amazon. I think Amazon has the biggest, okay, I didn't get it right. It's ChatGPT, but we'll talk more about why and how to provide more context to this. But you get the point. So this is a chatbot that's aware of what's happening on the screen. We can even do more. We can ask it to perform actions like apply filter only, or for example, filter for Asian stocks, which hopefully will apply, okay. Selected NASDAQ, London, Hong Kong. So probably because those are the stocks that have companies that are based in Asia. I was expecting it to only select Hong Kong. I can ask it to select the 1299 stock. So it did select this stock, and now it became add to watch list. So those are very small actions, we call them tasks, that are programmed using React and ChatGPT. Let's go and see how we do this. So we do this by adding, so this is the first thing that you need, or what you need for initially is AI chat. So this is a chat component, but in order to add context, you will need to provide some context, a little bit similar to the React context. So we have this create context. We also have context adapters. So here it's using NLBridge, so it's a library that's a middleware for Express.js that allows storing the context and providing it to the front end. And we provide those adapters so you don't have to stick to our own recommended backend. If you have your own Java backend or Python and you want to use it, you can write your own adapter for the context. So the library is quite flexible. So, and if I look where this context is being used, for example, I'll see it's used in the stocks list. So when we are in the view, this is where the stock list is displayed. We create the AI context, and then we do two things. The first thing is we update the context, this part of the context stock list data with stock rows, whatever is displayed on the UI. And the second thing is we register a task, and the task is select stock. And because this is powered by large language models, the task will also require parameters, and those parameters are literally provided in natural language. Like it's expecting a string representing an ID of the stock. If now matching stock is found, it should return null. So ChatGPT will receive those kind of instructions, and we'll try to guess the best parameter based on those. And then we'll go back to the front end. The front end will execute the specific action, which is update row selection based on the parameter. Does that make sense? Good. You're still following. So those are the main tasks that NLUX does. Initially, very feature-rich AI chat, then context-aware conversations, and the third thing is tasks that you can that can be triggered by AI. They are executed by the React app, but they are triggered by whatever large language models. I mentioned another thing that we are using for this demo, which is NLBridge. So in order to make this specific demo works, we do not directly connect to OpenAI API. We connect to an Express.js middleware, which is provided through this library. And this Express.js middleware would get the context, store it, and provide it as needed. So it's really interesting work on this project. For example, I can briefly show you using natural language to program those middleware. For example, this is an NLBridge, the core library. At a certain point, I found myself writing plain text, literally, like this is how I give instructions to ChatGPT to retrieve the parameters. This is the most simple way to customize those large language models. So we use system messages, which are messages that don't require extra training or anything. Before you send the user message, you send the system message. But it would work very well with more advanced models or more customizations like RAG or anything else. So this is briefly it, NLUX. It's an open source project. It's available there on GitHub, starting to get some traction, and I'm actively developing it. So I'd love to get some feedback. If any people are interested, please reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to engage. And thank you very much. you.